Hello, Secret Stashers. Welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about praying for others who are in a crisis, maybe who have just experienced some sort of an accident. And we come across this in life often. We could be driving in a car and we could witness an accident. We could hear about an accident from somebody else, like hearing through word of mouth that somebody's been injured or in an accident. And I just want to encourage you that these are the most perfect times you can pray for someone. Yes, you might not even know them, but you can make a difference in praying for them, praying for the emergency responders, praying for the doctors, praying for the family members. And I want to give you this incredible example that I learned a few years ago. It's probably been about 20 years ago now. But I was teaching and I was taking my first grade class on a field trip one day. And we were about a mile and a half away from the location of the field trip, and we got stuck in major traffic. And we had no idea why traffic was stopped. Nobody was flowing down the road, and none of us knew what was going on. So we all just assumed there was an accident. Now, I was in the car with a mom and her daughter and then one other classmate. So there were four of us in this car. And before we knew it, as we were all wondering what was going on and how close were we to the field trip, is there any way we could get there kind of thing, we hear a helicopter flying over our heads, getting ready to land about a mile down the road in front of us. And we all instinctively knew that had to have been a pretty bad accident for that helicopter to be coming to take somebody and airlift them to a hospital. And immediately my student said, "Mom, we need to pray." And her mom said, "Go ahead, Rebecca." And Rebecca prayed the most incredible prayer. Now, mind you, this is a first grade student. And she prayed the most incredible prayer for the injured people, for the first responders who were going to be helping the injured people. She prayed that they would know exactly what to do and that the doctors would be ready to receive these people and that they would know what to do. And she prayed for their family members who were getting ready to hear the news that one of their loved ones had been in an accident. It was the most incredible prayer from this little first grader. And I thought, oh my goodness, how many times have I witnessed things like this and never prayed for the other people? Never prayed for them. Or maybe I said a quick little prayer but thought my prayer wasn't going to help. Let me remind you today that all of our prayers are effective. When God prompts you to pray for someone, do it right away because the need is immediate. And God wants you praying for others. That's one of the things He calls us to do as His children. Not only are we to share about God and what He's doing in our lives, but we're supposed to be praying for each other. And that means even if we don't know the other person, that person clearly had needs and needed assistance, and praying for that assistance to get to that person is what you should be doing in that moment. Boy, oh boy, did my faith grow that day because of that first grade student. Now, she had an incredible faith because of her mom and her dad who modeled that for her. And just that experience led her mom and I to have some serious discussions about how she was bringing up Rebecca. And I was able to even add some of those things to my future classroom lessons. And as I worked in a Christian school, it was incredible to be able to be a part of this family's lives. And you know, God put her there for a reason, and it could very well be to teach me something. Rebecca was brought to my class about 3 to 4 weeks after school had started that year once established routines were set, then I get a new student. And I wasn't crazy about that idea at the time. I was like, I just established all my routines and now you're going to give me a new student. And Rebecca was only in my life for 6 weeks. And then her family had to move because of her dad's job. So I look at that particular student and I think God had her in my life for a reason. He wanted me to meet this child that was full of faith so I can understand that childlike faith and what that really was. And it helped me to be more bold in my life. Yeah, I learned so much from that first grader. But I also learned a lot from her mom. Just in that conversation that day, we talked about some books she had been reading, and I was very excited to read some new books. My present that they gave me on their last day of school, they gave me a present, which my, oh my, they deserved a present. But the mom gave me a set of 2 books that I am extremely thankful for that I was able to read being a young mom, being a busy teacher, a busy worker. Those books were all about having a heart for God and living your life for Him and making Him your top priority. So my friends, I share this story with you for 2 reasons. Number 1, we need to be praying for others all the time. But I also want to remind you, don't ever underestimate your impact. You see, God had a purpose for that family to be in my life for those 6 weeks. And it was the most probably influential when I look back on times during my lifetime that I grew. I grew so much from my experience with these people. Not only did I grow in spending time with them, I grew for years later as I read and reread those books they left for me to help me grow. I read and reread those books over and over again for years until some of those things I was reading about became true habits for myself. And I've been able to pass that information down to other people. So please remember, you don't ever understand the impact you are making, the ripple effects that can come into play when you are an example for the Lord. But I want you to follow Rebecca's example in your life. Start establishing a habit, if you don't already have one, of praying for others when they are in a crisis. When you come upon an accident or some sort of serious situation, pray right then and there and help those people, because their family members who are normally praying for them don't even know they need prayers right then and there. They need somebody praying for them. And that somebody is you. You're witnessing it happening. God wants you to be praying for them. So be like my sweet little Rebecca and pray for others, even if you don't know who they are. And remember to go out there and be a blessing and share the Lord, because you never know what kind of effect that's going to have on someone's life. I'm incredibly thankful for Rebecca and for her mom and their influence in my life. And I love telling that story over and over again. I hope you have a fantastic day, Secret Stashers. Go out there and be an incredible blessing in someone else's life. And I promise you will receive those blessings right back again. Bye. See you next time.